and more success as you get down the road in your life. And so being here, the best we can do as faculty and the wonderful people here at the Multicultural Center is to offer you tools by which you can succeed. Now, my first slide, it's a little sparse, but it gives some really strong information. It asks us, how do we learn? Everybody has different ways of learning, and we've talked about we've figured out over time that we all learn in different manners. The first task in succeeding is your desire to learn. The fact that you're in college means you want to learn, that you want to be here. That is why you are here. Because you want to learn, you want to know more. You want to make strides and progress in your thinking and in your experience. The growth mindset finds learning in every situation. And one of my colleagues who really talked about this in her very first class of the semester, talked about how important it is to have the growth mindset, that you have the capability to always be learning, to always be experiencing new things and turning things over and revising your approach and the way you look at the world. This means you should attend and participate in every class. I know that some people on Zoom who do the online classes, they're difficult. But even when there's that breakout room, even when there's that ability to interface with the professor, you need to do so. This enriches your experience. And so the fact that you've made the decision to be part of higher education and to have that experience means that your commitment should bring you into every class, to bring you into every Zoom meeting, to log in on time and to participate. When people have questions, when it's time to break out with your classmates, you can have the opportunity then to enrich yourself through their perspectives and through the knowledge that your lecturer is sharing. But remember, it's a learning community. And the growth mindset means we learn from each other all the time. The instructor who has some knowledge and some experience is merely the guide. And the people you can learn the most from are the people you're going to school with. That growth mindset, as contrast to the fixed mindset, which keeps us from achieving to our true potential. The gift of learning is we're always engaged with knowledge. So believe that you have the ability to always engage with knowledge. Even the people who are out there who've been through traumatic experiences have the gift of learning that's still available to them. So remember the middle there, the mountain. You are the growth mindset. And this is what you're capable of in higher education. So here's some practical strategies. A couple of practical strategies that allow us to be able to really synthesize the knowledge that we're gaining and allow us to apply that so we can remember and comprehend and take that knowledge beyond just the classroom sphere. Good notes equals good grades. Taking accurate notes is one of the best ways to succeed in college classes. Notes make you pay attention, and writing down those key ideas provides you the opportunity to review these ideas and comprehend them to a greater degree. Now, people sit in places in a room for every reason. But the closer you are, the more you'll pay attention to your professor. The more notes you'll be able to take and better comprehension you will have. But it's the sheer physical proximity to the discussion being offered. Think about that too when you're in your breakout groups or in your group discussions with your classmates. Participate, talk to them. It's really easy to not make the effort and miss out on something that might be important. So it's taking those good notes or knowing somebody who takes good notes and studying with them. Learning together equals good grades. Likewise, our organization. We need places to be able to put our course material and reference things that have been given back to us so we can accurately understand and be able to build upon the knowledge that has been offered so far. Keep your class materials and assignments in a place where you can access them readily. This could be a cloud drive, hard disk, a phone, 3-ring binder, or planner. I know that's kind of 2000s now, people, but some people still use it. If you can find your notes and handouts or previous assignments from your class at any time, you can get the information when you need it. This can be the difference between a high or low grade. And depending, especially if your grades, your marks are very important to you, scholarships, you have things, a grade level you need, average you need to maintain. The organization is a critical component in being able to achieve that goal. So the organization element, it works, everybody's got a different one. I know some people do color coding. I know some people have a folder for every class. I know people have different stick drives for every class. But whatever works for you, finding it and applying it is the best way to call it success. Good studying habits, along with your organization and your ability to take notes, also goes a long way. Now, we've all heard the stories of the people waiting to the last minute before the exam and staying up all night to get it done. They take the caffeine tablets or drink too much coffee. And what happens is a lot of that knowledge that they're trying to absorb doesn't really penetrate. It doesn't really, it doesn't really fit in because of the fact your brain is so overstressed at the time. So don't cram for exams. Waiting the last minute may seem to feel like a good idea, but you'll do better. Remember more by studying course content skills every day rather than right before the test. Myself, I'm a musician. I'm not a very good one, but I try to practice every day. And I notice when I practice every day, I get a little better. And when I pick up my guitar at the end of the week, I know how to play something a little bit more with facility because I practice it every day. But if I try and do 2 hours once a week, it's not as good as practicing a little bit every day. The same goes for studying. Studying a little bit for your courses every day leads to that accumulation of skills and deep understanding and comprehension of the knowledge in the class. Likewise, you don't need to overstudy. Some students believe they can never study enough, but like our muscles, the brain can only work out so much. Manage your time to learn and practice any courses, content, or skills before they're needed, so you'll be prepared for every class assignment. This is very important because good instructors always scaffold the information. They tell you what you need to know before you're going to need it. Your task then is to recognize what you need to practice and start practicing that. But some people just like spend so much time elaborating. I remember when this very room was the writing center several years ago. We'd have students who would have hours to make up. And they wouldn't do any hours for the first 14 weeks. And then they'd live in here the last 2 weeks to get all their hours. The problem with that is many of those hours weren't spent productively. And because nobody has enough time or money to be able to waste their time in higher education anymore, refraining from overstudying allows us then to make the best use of our time. Because if you've read too much and done too many things, or the information you try to take in during that time when your brain is tired is not going to be useful. You have to read it again, and you have to reuse that time. So these two, when we think about, these are very common, exams and overstudying. But really, it doesn't really help. So do yourself a favor, plan your time to study with enough time to learn everything you need to. And especially like this one of the coral reef anemones. The agent photo. And this is where we have to think about it. Because you decided to go on this journey of higher education, because you have more responsibilities now than say a simple, simply going to work, getting your paycheck and coming home, you can relax at home. You go to school and go to work, and you got to come home and you've got to study and do things. It's a lot of management, a lot of stuff, and cause a great amount of stress and anxiety. Self-care is the key to success. Taking care of yourself is the #1 strategy, in my belief, to being successful in college. If you push yourself too hard, you take too many units, you work too much, you don't take care of yourself, you're going to end up despising the very thing that you set out to do. And it's in that anxiety and in that despicability that's going to lead you away from this path, which could lead to your success. So don't forget to unplug, reconnect with the things that are important to you. When you're studying, turn off the internet, put your phone to the side, turn it off. Make study time your study time. In this electronic era, the internet and our phones can be one of the #1 distractions. Everybody knows that. But to make the best use of your study time, unplug. Focus on the content. Give yourself a break. That's the next slide I'll talk about, giving yourself a break. You can surf the internet when you take a break. Take a timer. Use a timer to keep track of what you're doing. Then the timer goes off, or when you a simple signal, you can then have the opportunity to take a little bit of time for your mind to relax. But that self-care is so important, because if we get too immersed in the knowledge of our classes, we're trying to maybe text a friend, or we're watching a vlog stream. Studies have shown that these things all overload our brain and cause us, instead of more relaxation, more anxiety. And so it's very important to be conscious of how these interfaces and this multitasking for a long period of time can affect our ability to really do well and understand what we're learning. Part of self-care is finding your best study zone, the best place where you can do the most work. Everyone has a perfect study environment. Some like the silence of a library. Others study in a coffee house with live music. I've seen people do that. I could never do that. Try a few different environments and find one that works for you. Most of us already know by this time in our higher education where we can get our best work done. I like right out here in our library. It's nice and quiet and get a lot of stuff done, or in an office that's free of distractions. Some people do like sometimes absorb knowledge better in the bustling environment with other people around. Find what works for you and start using that environment to be able to get the most productive time out of your studies. Likewise, self-care is all about taking a break. Since pacing and time management are so crucial to successful learning, give yourself 10 minutes of mental rest every hour. Don't try and sit down and write that paper for 2 hours straight. Sometimes you have to do that in exams. But by the same token, 50 minutes in every hour is plenty to be productive. Give yourself 10 minutes rest. You can do 30 minutes and a 5-minute rest, and 30 minutes, another 5-minute rest. Some people do 45 or 15 minutes of rest. But the main thing, we're looking for productivity, but also deeper comprehension, deeper potential. And giving yourself a rest, your brain a time to rest, offers the potential. Get up, stretch, drink some tea, or take a quick walk. All these activities help you to learn more. When relaxing, your brain processes the knowledge or ideas you've been working on. This can lead to new perspectives and exciting insights. It's really true, because when you take that walk, you start moving your body, your mind starts matriculating on all the things you've just read or been working on. You might come back to that work with a better insight, a better perspective. Myself, I'm an avid surfer, and I get some really great insights about my work and my students when I'm in the ocean catching waves, because then my mind is open to the present possibilities. It's not worried about what's on shore. It's not worried about what's happening in the future. It's right there in the present. So anything that can keep you in the present allows you to be able to see things in a more clear manner. And I like this one of the Cameron Bay. Yeah, I think it's Cameron Bay in Thailand or in South China Sea. Oh, this is beautiful. And here's one of the main things. I added this just today. But get involved. Become part of your campus community. Go to campus events, join clubs, visit student life and leadership. Where I'm standing right now, the Multicultural Center is a wonderful resource to network and engage with other students who are experiencing similar things as you are as a college student. We're very fortunate at College of Redlands to have such an exciting and vigorous multicultural program. Yes. Take some time to get to know the people who go to school here. Even if you're online, people out there online, get to know people. You can reach out to them online. But becoming part of the campus community is a great way to feel supported and a great way to feel like you are actually moving forward with a group of people, a cohort, as you go through your higher education experience. And these people provide connectivity and perspective and community. And when we have community, we succeed. Meet with your teachers. Do you communicate with professors and deans about academic performance, career plans, course content, assignments? Doing so will allow you to receive strong letters of recommendation, not only for scholarships, but also to understand course content better. We're so fortunate at College of the Redwoods that our faculty are so available, even online. Because talking to your faculty, the people who have knowledge, allow you to be able to add to your own knowledge. And they might tell you something. The other day I was talking to a student of mine, learning to play guitar, he's into blues guitar. I told him about a specific album that he would be really interested in. He wrote it right down. It's like, that's not class content, but it's something that might really spur him into a whole exploration of something he's interested in. And that's what meeting with your professors does. We share perspectives. You get to share your experience with them. And that's one of the things I really enjoy about being back on campus now, face to face, despite the protocols that we have to follow, is the fact that we're all together and we can feel the actual energetic interaction between students and teachers. And the fact that we have people present in the community working together here in person now. And it's so important because it's in that interaction that we learn so much and inspire each other to continue this path. Students who feel like they belong and are supported are more successful in college. We know that. That's what this third place, the Multicultural Center, is about, supporting students. So make sure you take some time to get involved and find out what's available out there, because there's so many cool things, even at our small campus, to get involved in. I like this one with people touching the world. So we have obviously these resources on campus, even counseling for personal and career counseling. We all can't attend college forever, so we need to have a plan, a goal to where we're headed to with our education. We have some great people over in the Student Services building that are really available to be able to help students plan what they want to do, what their next steps are. College is a period of great personal, career, and academic growth. The counseling process helps students learn more about themselves, identify coping strategies, and emerge with enhanced self-confidence. Not only the professors, but knowing that people, other professionals on campus care about you and your goals and are willing to help you get there, that's a huge boost. When you walk out of the building after meeting with a counselor or something like Leah here at the Multicultural Center, you get the feeling that I can do this because there's people out there who believe in me. Not just my family, but professionals where I go to school. And that helps people succeed. Having taught in high-risk high schools for a long time, even that one caring professional can make a world of difference in somebody's ability to achieve their potential and turn their life around completely. Like that here at CR, we have several people who can do that, offer that potential for any student. So take some time to get to know them and go see them. Personal and career counseling. People are great. Angela Stewart, right? Angela Stewart here. She's fantastic. Choosing a field of interest to focus your studies is challenging and complex. We're working with a counselor to help you feel more confident and through in your career exploration. We also have fantastic vocational tech, applied technology classes here. Where not only are you getting your academic information, but you can also learn a trade. I've seen many students go through the whole welding program or the automotive program. And of course, we have students who are doing the nursing program. These are all career-oriented skills that you can learn while attending College of the Redwoods. So get involved, talk with a counselor. If you have an interest both that's academic and trade-based, do them both if you can. These things will help give you a foundation of skill set to help you get a job when you get out of the doors of the campus or onto your higher education degree. And lastly, develop your self-awareness, self-management, and self-discipline. This is your journey. You're doing it for a lot of other people and yourself. But being self-aware really leads to an enriched experience in higher education. Develop an awareness of your strengths, skills, habits, and mindset. How do I work towards things? When I achieve a given goal, how do I move towards that goal? The true gift of the higher education experience is critical thinking. Being able to take a given assignment or a given task and to think of the ways through which you can achieve it to a degree of performance. This critical thinking ability applies to everything you do after college. You can apply it to your personal life, you can apply it to your career, you can apply it to a simple project at your home. But being able to train your mind to critically think, following some of these tips for success, allows us then to have a better livelihood. And of course, the studies have shown higher education leads to greater longevity, better health, happier relationships, not to mention better earning potential. All these things go hand in hand with the ability to critically think. And it's this awareness of yourself that's going to allow you to be able to critically think more effectively. Develop self-discipline, clear desire, keeping your word, removing temptations, maintaining consistency and congruency in action and values. It's really about accountability. It's really about being able to be accountable, that if we mess up, it's okay. But if it was your fault, raise your hand and say, yes, I should have done that, but I didn't do it. I tell my students all the time, nobody's going to kick you out of school if you don't get an assignment in. But it's that practice that's going to help you to get those later assignments in on time. If you can't keep a journal to record your thoughts, impressions, feelings, and ideas as your college experience broadens your perceptions. I kept a journal. I have several of my old journals. And they range from my classes all the way to my personal relationships and experiences I was having. But they're really insightful to see where I was at a certain time in my life. And they give me a sense of being able to, it's like my own personal therapist. I'm writing out my thoughts and feelings, and I put them in my book, and I feel better because I've put them down, I've expressed them somewhere. I don't have to carry them around with me anymore. They're in my book. I can go back and read them. And lastly, and most importantly, believe in yourself and your abilities. Because so many people here already do. Remember that the gift of failure is that every challenge is an opportunity to learn. Nobody gets it right the first time. But if you can challenge yourself, sometimes you fall flat. But that's even better because there's a lesson there. When you get it right, you know you're learning something. You know you're progressing forward. So I think that as we see these things that we can do, and there's a whole list of stuff we can think about. But themselves, these abilities to become self-aware is one of the most fundamental skills we can have to really succeed in college. And lastly, we apply our knowledge to find our potential. Money management. Since college is so expensive these days, far more than it was in past years, and it's still going up, even despite the fact that it's still very reasonable here at our local college, which is fantastic, because we have very reasonable rates for tuition. Books are still expensive. We're practicing wise money management. Because the most challenging thing for college students, set and maintain a budget. This is how much I can spend this week, or this is how much I can afford for this item. Seek scholarships. Now, what's the place for scholarships where I didn't have I said campus resources?
We have a scholarship coordinator and a counselor.
Fantastic.
And the new scholarship application is going to be due, and it's going to be open within the next 2 weeks. So Sheila Hall is your person for scholarship.
So that should say Sheila Hall there. She's our scholarship information here at College of the Redwoods.
And she's going to be coming here to do a presentation.
And she's coming here to do a presentation. So scholarships, fantastic. The thing we have to understand is that there are millions of dollars worth of scholarship monies that go unclaimed every year in the United States because students simply don't know about them or don't apply for them. Make yourself one of the students who seeks out and gets funding for your education. It's out there. And that's for everybody. That's for everybody. There's for all kinds of different students. But there's funding for everybody who seeks and goes through the process to get that money. It's available out there.
For documented and undocumented.
Exactly, for documented and even undocumented students. And so as a result, the scholarships, seeking those scholarships can be a really rewarding and beneficial thing to help alleviate some of the stresses about money many students face in college. Vision financial aid and learn how to complete your own FAFSA form. I think maybe we have something here where you help students to do their FAFSA, right?
Both in Spanish and in English.
You see, exactly. And so as a result, these are the things that allow us to have access to the federal monies available that will, once again, alleviate your stresses about college financing and can get us somewhere to achieve our given goals. And so we see two young people who've gotten their scholarship, probably like it'd be like a Rotary scholarship or a scholarship from one local organization. But be able to go on then and have they're college funded. And that's a huge weight off of so many people if they can get funding for college. Obviously, we have these college success courses. I've got this tips and tricks here, but there's whole classes on it, like GS1 or GS6, general studies classes. And those are very useful to give people that first semester the right direction to pursue, so they can be able to find the ways by which they become most successful and use their college time most wisely. Choose a satisfying major and career, manage your stress or anger, which can be really difficult because stress can lead to a lot of different things being expressed in our lives. Set goals, improve your study skills, and increase your success in college, and develop personally. I'm giving you a very compressed rendition of what these courses will draw out over an entire semester. So if you can, you have the time, take this GS1 or GS6 classes that'll allow you to be able to explore these ideas even more deeply.
And it's transferable.
Exactly. And so as I wrap up my presentation today, I just want to make sure that everybody understands is college is not an uncrackable code. There's a way to be successful in college. Some of these tips and tricks are some of the ones that I found are useful for students, especially students in this era right now. Some will be not included here. There's going to be more ones that you're going to find online or from other students or from other faculty or from other community members that are going to give you even better insight, especially about our specific institution. By the same token, the thing to remember is to believe in yourself. And that in doing so, you will meet other people who believe in you. In this world, it's all about the energy we put out. We put out energy that believes in ourselves, we'll attract likewise people who believe in us as well. It's too easy to become the outsider. Remember, everybody's welcome inside. Everybody's welcome inside this experience of college education. And so if you're struggling, don't be afraid to raise your hand. Ask for help. Because there's somebody there to help. And there's my last one there. Kind of my little word chart for college success. Well, thank you so much, everybody. Thank you so much online, everybody who attended, students who attended, faculty who attended. Really very much appreciate your time today, hearing this information. It's going to be available through the Multicultural website.
And I just have two questions for you.
Yes.
You touched on two things that I think are super important. What happens when I fail? And what if I don't feel like I belong here? Can you touch on what happens when you have failures in the classroom and how do you keep pushing? And how do I develop confidence if I never had it and I don't feel like I belong?
Thank you for that question. As I said before, failure is an opportunity to learn. It shows us what our challenges are and offers us a time to retool our thinking or look at something in a different perspective. For many students, however, and this is recognition of maybe educational experiences they've received before, failure can be a trigger to a past traumatic event where somebody maybe told them they weren't worthy, or somebody told them that they weren't good enough or smart enough. And this plays into your second question, and that is in higher education, especially at this school, you can leave those, if you can leave those experiences in the past. Because you every day can reinvent the world that you want to be in. You get a bad grade in class, or you fail a test. This is now the opportunity, rather than seeing it as a door shut in front of you, but now there's another door opens for you. You have the ability to be able to walk through that door and ask for help. Sometimes it takes the instructor to be perceptive enough to ask, how's it going? I didn't see that you did very well. I saw that you didn't do very well in the exam, or you haven't got that paper in yet. My personal approach is to have a lot of cushion for my students. Hard and fast deadlines don't work for everybody. So if you can get into me, I'm going to give you some points on it. I realize that it's very difficult sometimes for students to turn in things on a given deadline. It just doesn't work that way for everybody. And so when failure presents itself to us, it's a matter of perspective, and to see it rather than as a failure, it's a learning opportunity. It's a teachable moment in which we can learn to be able to find the things that we didn't do correctly, and to seek the answers to be able to do those things the next time. It's like, well, like I said, a musician, if I don't play a scale correctly or blow a note in a song, I'm like, okay, well, this is the part that I get to that I know I don't have down. So I'm going to practice that again. An opportunity for practice, an opportunity for growth. And it's that self-confidence thing. That's what it plays into, the self-confidence thing. Like I said before, it's very easy to carry with us those past experiences where we may have been felt we were less than. And this is where you can take the time to be able to talk to other people who've been to college, to other professionals, like me here, or the professionals at the Student Services Building, and to be able to explore with them what your options are. And to get the feedback that you have the ability. You have the ability, because sometimes we don't have the ability to just bring ourselves up by our own will, but we do need somebody to encourage us. And this is an important thing to remember, that when you're in college, there's always somebody there. You're a student, there's always somebody there you can talk to help you out. They might not be able to get to you right away. But by the same token, it's the belief and the knowledge that other professionals here believe in you to carry you through that, maybe that difficult, that moment down. Thank you. That's kind of long-winded.
No, that's perfect.
So thank you again very much. The students have any questions? You guys have any questions about the presentation? Because, I mean, it is one of those things that, you know, it's not an easy path. I'm going to point to people online, but you can do this. You can believe in yourselves and get through this. We're there for you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everybody.
I just want to jump in the frame and tell you thank you.
Oh, you're most welcome.
This will transform my education.
Oh, fantastic.
If I had heard this as a freshman coming into school, it would have transformed my experience. I wouldn't have bumped my head so many times. For you to give your time and your energy and your wisdom to us freely is such a gift. Thank you.
Well, you're most welcome.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Absolutely. Well, let's do it again next year.
Absolutely.
Next semester.
This is transformative.
Oh, fantastic.
And the work that you do can transform generations. So if anyone gets an opportunity to take your English class, they should. Your passion for the material, your love for the students is so palpable. And it's such good energy that I'm just grateful for you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Oh, absolutely. You're most welcome. And thanks everybody for attending. Online, thanks everybody for attending. I really appreciate it.
And we will have, I figured out how I can do this better next time. So education is a learning experience.
Hey.
So next time I can fly through your slides and they can see it.
Oh, okay.
So thank you for being my guinea pig.
Hey.
My first presentation
Absolutely.
in the COVID era. Thank you. Thank you to each student who is here. I never felt like I belonged in education. It took me years, and even now taking classes, I still struggle. And so the words that you give are life. And failure is not forever. Not forever. So you have encouraged us in a huge way. So thank you.
Oh, you're most welcome.
Appreciate you.
You're most welcome.
And I appreciate everyone for being here. And thank you, Ricardo, for being with us and our other students. And when this comes out online, I really appreciate you. And we'll do it better next time. Learning.
Tips and tricks. Well, we're going to do exam strategies.
On October 6th.
October 6th.
At 1 o'clock.
So that's what, 3 weeks?
Yep. I have an exam tomorrow. I can use that today.
Actually, if you stick around, I've got a little sheet I can, if you got a printer here, I can print some.
Absolutely. We got you.
You can do that. Can you stick around for a second?
Yeah, I'll be here all day.